Here in this video we will showcase a complete comparison between Godzilla and the Ice Titan Shimo. The different comparison aspects would be height, length, weight, body design, weapons, powers, IQ, roar, evolution, aggressiveness, and a few more. So by the end of this video, you would be an expert in the facts about the two strongest titans of the Monsterverse. So let's get to it. Number 1. Height. Godzilla here in the Monsterverse came out in 2014 with a standing height of 355 feet or 108 meters tall. And as of GXK The New Empire, he had retained the same height since his second appearance in King of the Monsters, which is 393 feet tall or 120 meters. Shimo, on the other hand, has an official height of 162.5 meters or 533 feet standing upright, and she would be around 100 to 110 meters on all fours. Number 2. Length. The official length of Shimo is stated to be 365 meters or 1200 feet long, which would make her the longest titan in the Monsterverse, longer than Tiamat and even longer than Titanus Nakika. At this metric, she would be around 50% longer than Godzilla, who would be around 800 feet long or 244 meters. Number 3. Weight. Godzilla was originally 90,000 tons in 2014. He grew to be almost 100,000 tons in King of the Monsters. In GVK, there was a mistake in the intro stating that he had grown to 164,000 tons, a mistake that even the director had admitted. His present weight is 100,000 tons. Shimo is twice the weight of the Big G, making her the heaviest titan in the franchise at 200,000 tons. Number 4. Let's take a look at their heads. The head of Godzilla is small compared to his body. He has a reptilian face with dark colored scales and spikes that have grown on top of his head. While Godzilla's head is estimated to be around 15 meters or 50 feet in size, Shimo has a head that is way more massive, appearing like a turtle with white scales and a wide gaping mouth. Her head size would be 40 meters or 130 feet in size. Number 5. Let's take a look at scales. Shimo, as stated just now, has white overlapping scales which are smooth and whitish in appearance. The scales overlap each other and appear to be like that of a turtle, as well as a lizard at some parts. Godzilla too has reptilian scales that overlap each other, but his is dark grayish in color with spiky outgrowths and osteoderms. Both of their scales are super durable and over the top. Number 6. Dorsal spikes. The dorsal plates of Godzilla were originally jagged and straight, which became more maple leaf in shape when he evolved to the 2019 version. In GXK, they became more spiky and crystalline with whitish magenta in coloration. Shimo also has dorsal spikes, but hers are purely crystalline in nature and are straight spikes, which are bluish in coloration. Then let's take a look at their thagomizers. Both titans have very long tails. Shimo has a longer tail that is also more massive and robust. She has 4 curved spikes at the end of the tip, forming a thagomizer that can be used for deadly effect in battle. Godzilla 2 evolved a deadly thagomizer as well for GXK, but his is different, with 6 spikes that are of the same design as his maple leaf dorsal plates. Then let's take a look at the radiation glow. The Big G has a bluish radiation glow for most of his earlier appearances, and only evolved to have a magenta coloration after absorbing Tiamat's DNA and absorbing the solar radiation in her layer. Shimo's radiation glow is whitish with a bluish undertone. Her radiation is different as it is more of a cold radiation type, unique in nature and unseen anywhere else in the Monsterverse and real life. The difference here is that Godzilla's glow is a hot type of radiation, while Shimo's is a cold frost type of radiation. Number 9. Their powers. Shimo is capable of unleashing an incredibly powerful concentrated beam of freezing ice known as the Frostbite Blast. This beam has extremely low temperatures, capable of freezing down to the atomic level, which is considered to be the ultimate flash freeze power. Now, according to the Monsterverse related guidebook, Godzilla's power, the atomic breath, maxes out at 750,000 degrees Celsius and is equivalent to 45 kilotons of TNT. Now in GXK, this has definitely gone up a bit, and he has developed a 20 times power capacity in his dorsal plates, which gives him way more endurance and firepower. Godzilla can also emit a nuclear pulse, can heal at a very fast rate, and has thermal vision, which allowed him to overcome Tiamat in his first encounter during Dominion. Number 10. Intelligence. Despite not being the sharpest tool in the shed, Shimo demonstrates a reasonable level of intelligence. She understands the Scar King's commands, and after gaining her freedom, she defies the Scar King's orders and instead followed Godzilla's command to help him end his reign of terror. Godzilla, on the other hand, is a very intelligent titan, able to devise tactics in the midst of battle and even predict threats before they emerge, as in the case of Tiamat, who was growing more in power day by day with her absorption of massive amounts of solar radiation. He is also pretty decent as the alpha and in detecting and reacting to world-ending events in the nick of time. Next, let's take a look at evolution. Shimo has not shown any type of evolution in the movie or in the lore, which means in the paintings or any type of art. Godzilla, on the other hand, has undergone quite a few transformations and evolutionary phases throughout his career in the Monsterverse. He changed from his 2014 to his 2019 form after the battle with the Muto Prime. He then evolved to store more radiation after King of the Monsters. He also underwent a temporary transformation into Burning Godzilla to defeat Monster Zero. Now in GXK, he absorbed Tiamat's DNA just as he absorbs Mothra's essence in King of the Monsters to change into a newer evolved version with 20 times more power capacity, with longer limbs, sleeker physique and a spikier body. This shows that given enough time and radiation, Godzilla could out-evolve any rival or any perceived threats to his status and to the world as a whole. So you can take a look at Godzilla as Batman given enough prep time, which translates into his evolution. Next, let's take a look at aggressiveness and combat experience. Shimo was shown to be aggressive only when commanded by the Scar King, who used a crystal attained from her bag to mentally overpower her will. Otherwise, she is more like Behemoth and is a benevolent titan but way larger and way more powerful, although less inclined to fight but maybe only for defense. Godzilla, however, is an angry boy, an angry bird. He continuously seeks to prove his alpha status and has had quite a few fights under his belt, from defeating the Mutos to Muto Prime to the Iron Dragon to Monster Zero, Mechagodzilla, Tiamat, Scylla and lots more. His nature is more aggressive and territorial than Shimo, who seems to be more peaceful at the end of GXK. Then let's take a look at territory. The territory of Godzilla is the surface world, which he had been reigning over since the end of the Titan War. At times he enters the Hollow Earth to check up on things, but for the majority of the time, he stays on the surface maintaining the delicate natural balance and the Titans under his control. Shimo's territory is the Hollow Earth, where she stays for the majority of her time. She does venture to the surface sometimes, most notably during the past when she started the first Ice Age and the subsequent ones later on. But as of the end of GXK, I would guess that both Titans would not be entering each other's domain and would leave each other's territory to be governed by the respective alphas. Now finally, let's take a look at encounters between these two Titans. In the novelization, a brief explanation was given for the cave painting that was seen of Godzilla and Shimo facing each other. This cave painting showed that Shimo was actually dominating the fight against Godzilla and might have frozen him in place, but maybe later on, Godzilla's atomic powers would have eventually freed him from the icy prison. In GXK, Godzilla showed that he is able to finally overcome her icy powers. He is now more or less an equal in strength, and his more powerful atomic breath could change even her icy effects on the planet. In the end of the battle in Rio, after being freed from Scar King's control, she was seen to obey Godzilla's command and freeze the red ape in place before Kong shattered him into pieces. So here in this comparison, the Ice Titan Shimo dominates in size, meaning height, length and weight, giving her an advantage in brute strength. They both have similar scales and exterior body design, which is generally considered a tie. Now Godzilla has his cards with aggressiveness, combat experience, evolution, higher levels of intelligence as well as more types of abilities, which makes him deadlier in range attack and in prolonged combat. Thus we can conclude from this comparison that the Big G is the ultimate alpha of the Titans, by a narrow margin. Now if you like this video, then watch this other one as well, and do check out our channel for other Monsterverse content. We might just have things you haven't seen before. Like, subscribe and we'll see you in the next video. Take care fam.